One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.
All right. Hey, good morning. Good afternoon. The mic is turned on here. Let's see here. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. I am your host, Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector. How's everybody doing out there in the world, in this very transformative world of ours? A lot going on the planet and politics and society and this pandemic. I'm wearing red today because yesterday was Valentine's Day, a day celebrated with love, a day celebrated, perhaps with your significant other, your best friend, your fur babies, even yourself, just spending time with yourself to love thyself, to know thyself. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. We had a huge snowstorm here in Seattle, so we were snowed in. We couldn't even order food in, which was It tells you how much, it's the biggest snowfall we've had in over a decade. I think we got close to 8 inches, which if Seattle, I'm here in Seattle, Washington, the Pacific Northwest, and if we get an inch, the whole city shuts down. So imagine 8 inches. But it's now raining, so it should be gone by the end of the day here. But it was nice to see the white snow. I always like snow because it reminds me growing up and just how quiet it can be and how peaceful it can be when you have snow around. And it's nature's way of saying, here's a white room, people get in it. So wherever you're out in the world, I hope that you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe, you're staying properly informed, and of course, you're staying healthy with everything that's going on. So grab your coffee, grab your tea. Let's move into the magic of the moment. And today I'm going to be talking about let go to grow. And so if you're familiar with the show, you know how I work. I get in early morning meditation on my mat back here under my tree of life, as above, so below. And then I pour some coffee, and then I add some creamer to my coffee, and then I kind of look in my coffee and see, what's kind of the format that I'm seeing. And when I looked into my coffee today, because it's President's Day, I thought about George Washington and letting go of stuff so you can grow. And what I mean by that is I thought about his farewell speech. So George Washington, I'm here in Washington State, named after the first president of the United States. I'm a big fan of history. I'm a student of history. I'm always learning from history because history can teach us a lot about how we move forward and what is going on in today's current patterns and trends. And he talked about his farewell address when he stepped down from power. So he was our first president. He became the president of the United States after a revolution to free ourselves from the rule of England, and became the United States as we know it today. But in his farewell speech, he gave up power. He gave up so that democracy could grow. And that's just one aspect of how you can let go of something to grow. So today's message is let go to grow. And I just, like I said, I reflected on George Washington's farewell speech. When he gave up power, he said his biggest fear in doing that was that political factions would destroy the country. And we're kind of seeing that right now with the political factions kind of going at each other and, not abiding by rule of law or the Constitution. So I hate to say it, but I think that there's a fight ahead to protect democracy and to fight things of our past, just like we've done in our past. But it reminded me of his integrity and him as a leader to step down from power, because he didn't have to, you guys. He could have taken over as an emperor, as an authoritarian, as a new king of the United States, but he wanted to see democracy grow. So it's President's Day today. So happy President's Day to you, celebrating our presidents of the past that have gotten us here to the future. And I know that there's a big political divide now with, former President Trump and current President Biden. But I hope that, from what I'm forecasting, that we'll still see the great coming together and that there'll be unity in the days ahead, I'm hoping. So, but that's one aspect of letting go to grow, because if George Washington wouldn't let go, the United States would not be known what it is today, to grow into the democracy and the superpower that it is today. So how does that apply to your path? How does letting go help you to grow? And I've always been a big believer in, once growth stops, decay begins. And we find it with our jobs, we find it with our relationships, we find it even with ourselves. Even my journey, I've had to let go of certain relationships to, learn from that, not in a bad way, because I always say that relationships are lessons and blessings, and sometimes they're both. But if the relationship just becomes a lesson after a lesson after lesson, you got to wonder, am I just repeating my lessons, or is it time to move forward and let go so you can grow? Same with, some family relationships that I had to let go of last year, unfortunately, just because it wasn't helping me to grow. When people, the things I always teach on, you guys, for my work is, if you continuously have somebody that's apologizing, but there's not a change in behavior, you got to look at that, because that's a form of manipulation, and you've got to be willing to let go of that, because you're not going to grow from that if you stay in manipulation. And if you stand up to manipulation, be prepared to be rejected for being your authentic self, finding that diamond within that I teach on. Because I found a lot of times, whether it's family, friends, or colleagues, that, they want to hear their words coming out of your mouth, and that's not you living your authentic life. So again, if anybody makes you ever question your worth, walk away from that. If somebody is constantly apologizing, but their behavior doesn't change, then that is manipulation. Move away from that, because letting go of that helps you to grow. And today's message is let go so you can grow. And I'll be pulling cards at random. We'll have the Healing Cafe here at 8:30. I'll be doing some live readings in the Healing Cafe. So again, if you're new to the show, if you've just found me, so if you just so happen to come across the page, excuse me, make sure to subscribe, like, share out, turn on that notification button, and join the 30,000 plus spiritual prospectors all around the world every Monday morning here in my studio for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, which is my 30-minute inspirational show on encouragement, motivation, authenticity, subjects to get you thinking outside the box, exploring, discovering, dreaming, carpe diem, finding that diamond within, taking a risk. Last week's message was if you don't risk it, there's no biscuit, and just kind of inspiring you to live your best life, if you will. So today you've got to let go to grow. If there are certain things that you want to move forward with, maybe it's kind of like school. We had to let go of each grade that we went through and we progressed. You had to let go of your senior year because your senior year only comes once, unless, unfortunately, some of you may have had to repeat it or go to summer school, which is part of the journey. But you had to let go of that to grow into your next stage, to move into life, whether it was going into a vocational school, going into college. For me, I went from high school to community college and then joined the Coast Guard to pay for my undergrad, and then had to let go of my undergrad, got my undergrad in business management, and went into my graduate studies for sports medicine. So you're always progressing. There's always hills, mountains, and things in life that we have to climb to ascend to. But in order to ascend, you have to let go of those past and not live in the past, and not find yourself just your imagination constantly in the future, because you're missing the magic in the moment, what I always teach on. Anytime I say magic in the moment, I do my shines. So it's important just to keep progressing, because once growth stops, decay begins. Very similar to water. If water stops flowing, then water starts to amass the ugly things. It starts to amass bugs and turns discolored. It might start to get murky and smell. So you want to be like water, and you always want to be flowing and moving forward, not knowing what the next bend of the river is going to bring you. But it's an adventure. It's what I call a soul adventure. And so when I was having my coffee this morning, I just thought of the things that I had to let go of in 2019, the things I had to let go of in 2020. And I had to let go of some, certain relationships, certain friendships. When people when people show you who they are, believe them. When people stand up to support ideologies of, racism or systemic racism or bigotry, or, thinking that they're better than somebody, that's their choice and their free will, but you don't have to be a part of that. And that's a choice that I made this last year, weeding out some of my Facebook friends, my friends on Facebook, that supported ideologies of hate and bullying and making fun of the disabled and, mistreating and labeling women. I don't work that way. I don't operate that way. And of course, I'm a constitutionalist. So I'm always going to stand up for the Constitution, because I'm a veteran and I raise my right hand. And it's important when you take an oath to support and defend for what is right and stand up. It's not always easy, and you're going to get a lot of pushback, but at the same time, you have to let go to grow. And I had to do that this year, to let go of who I thought were some of my friends on social media that I realized, no, they support something that I don't support. No judgment, no, I'm not judging them. That's their free will and choice to, support whoever they want and follow ideologies that, tear down other people. That's their choice, and they'll be on the wrong side of history, as history's always taught us. But it doesn't have to be something that I'm associated with or condone. What you condone, you own. Silent when you remain silent about something, that's encouragement. Silence can be encouragement for promoting something. And so I had to let go to grow. And some of those relationships that I had to let go of were very hurtful and painful to do. But at the same time, and I knew that if I needed to grow and practice what I preach, I had to let go of certain people and certain relationships. So it's not always easy. It can be hard. It can be lonely. But at the same time, part of your authenticity and your integrity is standing up for what you believe in. And again, standing up for what is right, what is moral, what is just, what is ethical. I take ethical training all the time in my federal day job. I have to take, literally every year, I have to take required training on morals and ethics and how to treat others and what to say and what not to say. But yet I go out in society and I see a lot of our government and lawyers that aren't following that at all. And so it's been a really hard place in 2020 to be. And of course, with the pandemic, people not believing the pandemic's real. Some close friends of mine have thought it has been a hoax this whole time. I work in healthcare. I've been trying to tell them, I've been in healthcare for 25 years and certified healthcare provider, and it's not fake. It's real. And the only thing that's going to beat this is unity in science and coming together and not politicizing a mask. So wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands. It's not about your, taking your free, liberties away. It's about public health and protecting others and protecting yourself. So, you have to let go of ignorance as well. If you want to grow, you're going to have to let go of some people that follow ignorant ideologies, ignorant debates, conspiracy theories. That's something that you're just going to have to make a choice in your free will for what's right for you. I think social media has caused a lot of problems in our society because, again, it's very easy to be opinionated and bully somebody behind, get on the keyboard and just start typing, and I've seen a lot of that this last year, and I've kind of just shut it down now. I've let go of that so I could grow. I always remind people on my personal page, not here on my Intuitive Prospector page, I'm always open up to feedback and comments, but I've, on my page, I've now determined that my personal page, which I've cleaned out and weeded my garden, is a monarch, which means I am the king of that page. What I say goes. It's not a democracy. I don't need to hear your opinion. You can take your opinions elsewhere. And I've locked my page down now to be private and not necessarily out for the public, because I was getting friend requests from people I didn't know. And then my page was hacked and somebody was doing false profiling. It's the social media world is just interesting. Watch the Social Dilemma on Netflix. It's really eye-opening of letting go of some of the social media stuff, including here on Facebook. I am on Instagram. I am on Twitter. I am now on TikTok. I'm having a lot more fun on TikTok, and I'm going to be doing a room called. It's new. It's just come through the iPhone, but it's called Clubhouse, and it's literally you call in and you're not on video, you're just on voice. And I'm going to be doing one for Positive Living and Inspired Living Radio, my podcast, which is promoted here on this page here for shows. And we had a great show on Wednesday. My guest was Sakira Sutter, who's local here in Seattle. And we talked about past life and reincarnation. Fascinating discussion. If you've ever had a deja vu, or just you've remembered something but you're not sure why you remembered it, past life has always been fascinating to me. Reincarnation has always been fascinating to me. It's talked about in every single religion around the world, some sort of reincarnation or coming back or karma or the Dharma wheel. If you look at different look at different religions around the world, not just the religion that you were raised with here, like I was raised with Catholicism and Catholic because of where I was raised, and of course what my parents were raised from their parents, and this repeat behavior. But it's not something I resonated when it came to religion. And even Christianity, I believe that there are great people in history and religion. Jesus Christ is one of them. But at the same time, as a spiritualist, I look at other perspectives from around the world, and I had to let go of my own religious belief to grow into a broader perspective, if you will, to understand just because I'm here in Seattle and I'm a Catholic doesn't mean that's the only way to the divinity or the salvation of God. Now, I know some religions teach on the only way is through Jesus Christ, or that religious doctrine or dogma, but I don't personally believe that anymore, based on my education, my world experiences of traveling to other countries, seeing different viewpoints and different perspectives. And so I had to let go of my past beliefs in order to grow. And today's message is let go so you can grow. And that's really, even just from a religious aspect, you realize that a lot of religions, wherever you're at in the world, whether it's from China to India, to the United States, to England, you'll realize that a lot of the religious doctrines are kind of one and the same. They just have different players in it. Whether you go to the Bible, which, I read scripture a lot, just to, because there's a lot of knowledge and wisdom in the Bible, but those are letters that, were compressed into a book and also edited at the time. But I also look at the Quran, I look at the Hindu Book of the Dead, the Egyptian Bible, books written well before the actual Bible that we call, the Bible today. And, so that's just some different examples today of how you can let go to grow. It's President's Day. I talked about George Washington letting go of power so democracy could grow. I talked about letting go of certain relationships that are no longer allowing you to grow. And then I talked about even just religion, letting go of some of my religious doctrine and how I was raised, because I was confirmed as an adult in the Catholic Church. So I had to go to Sunday school, and I did the baptism, and I had to do everything up to that. And then I realized I don't need to go through a priest or, through Mother Mary to connect to God. I found that God is within. That energy that makes the heart go is the divinity spark of what God is. We don't know where that spark comes from. We don't know where it emanates from. We don't know how it continuously grows without a recharge. And so that got me looking at spiritualism. It got me looking at metaphysics. It got me looking at meditation. It got me looking at psychic sciences and mediumship. And so I had to let go to grow. So wherever you're at in the world today, I hope that you are letting go of things that no longer serve your path or serve your higher good or your higher self or your authentic self, so you can grow. It's very similar to the tree of life, as above. So as above, we say above, which would be the concepts of heaven or the spirit world. But really, it's not above, because we're on a round planet. So there is no above or below, because when you're on a round planet, metaphysically, that's just impossible. But the concept is as above, so below. So what is resonated above can resonate down here and follow those paths. And that includes letting go. Letting go is the last stage of the heartbreak. And at this stage, it stops being so tough to watch all the times you shared folding into the past. And that's where we suffer a lot, is as we let go, whether it's heartbreak, whether it's letting go of a job, a relationship, letting go of something that you love. Maybe it's an object, maybe it's something personally that you love that you have to let go because it's not allowing you money, for example, buying things that, end up controlling us and that we're in debt to, letting go of that financial freedom, to not be in debt, to not let things own you, letting go of that so you can grow. But what happens is, as we let it go, it moves into our past, and your memories create your past. Your memories make your past real. It is not. Just like your imagination, which is on the right side, and your creativity energy makes your future, which is not guaranteed and hasn't happened yet. So in a sense, you are suffering your past and you're suffering your future based on letting go of things. But if you let go and you start to grow, you move into the magic in the present of the moment, and you realize the little things in life that are important, and you look for the little things in life that inspire you, that make you happy, that bring you peace. They always say that you only struggle because you're ready to grow but aren't willing to let go. So that's Drew Gerald said that. You only struggle because you're ready to grow but you're not willing to let go. And today's message is about letting go so you can grow. Anything you can't control is teaching you how to let go. My mentors always taught me all my problems are irrelevant, Marc. She would tell me, and it's how you respond that your power lies, and how you respond to certain things, your thoughts, your words, your actions. And we've seen a lot of that. So anything that you can't control is teaching you how to let go. And today's message is let go so you can grow. And one day you're going to decide that, you're going to have to make decisions, or you're going to just stay in that minutia of repeated patterns, learned behaviors. I think about how I was raised and the very dysfunctional patterns of how I was raised. And I changed that by leaving my hometown. I changed that by, not having a relationship with certain parts of my family. I still love them, and I can love them from a distance, but it doesn't mean I have to be a part of that dysfunction anymore, and that pattern, breaking those trends, breaking those patterns. I had to decide that, and it hurt. It did. But at the same time, I'm more at peace with it, and I've grown from that. So, whatever you're going through, Lao Tzu talks about, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. I'll say that again. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. In order to do that, it's kind of like ties into last week's message. If you don't risk it, there's no biscuit. If you don't take a leap of faith, you're never going to know. So if you keep holding on to the things you lost, you might never find the things you need. So you must be willing to let go, even when it hurts you so much. That quote has stayed with me in my journey because it's something I didn't know that I'd have to do. but at the same time, it was the thing I needed to do, the right thing to do to move forward and to grow. I had to let go so I could grow. If you keep holding on to the things you lost back here in the past, you might never find the things you need. So you must be willing to let go, even when it hurts you so much to do so. There's a quote, letting go of toxic people. That's another thing that I've had to do, especially through the social media platforms. I try to make my platforms very positive. On my business page, the Intuitive Prospector, on my public page, Soul Adventures, on my podcast page, Inspired Living Radio. Not so much on my personal page, because I really stand up for the Constitution and democracy, and people disagree with that, which is fine, because that's part of democracy. But letting go of toxic people in your life is a big step in loving yourself. I'll say that again. Letting go of toxic people in your life is a big step in loving yourself. And you need to know thyself to love thyself. And part of that's going to be letting go of people and places and relationships and things so that you can grow. And that's today's message. Letting go so you can grow. One of the happiest moments in life is when you find the courage to let go of what you cannot change. One of the happiest moments in life is when you find the courage to let go of what you cannot change. And there's a lot of things in this world, you guys, that we are not going to change, but that's your greatest power. Some of us think holding on makes us strong, but sometimes it is letting go that really makes you stronger. There's the old adage, hold on and get dragged, or let go and be free. And I personally have had to do that in my spiritual pathways, my spiritual development. And for those of you that are watching the show today, it's a reminder that you may have to let go just to get rid of things that are holding you down, like an anchor. A ship that's at anchor, an anchor holds a ship in place, and there's a lot of sea out there to explore and navigate. But whatever comes, let it come. What stays, let it stay. What goes, let go. That's just a simple adage for where we're at. Because it's President's Day, I wanted to finish off with a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, who was the wife of Franklin Delano Roosevelt during World War II, 4-term president. And before the terms, you could only have two. You could have as many terms you want. He was elected 4 times, and then they changed it after him to only 2 terms. So again, letting go of past structural things. And that's what we had to do in 2022, right? Part of this transformation that we're going through, the digital transformation, the consciousness, the awakening, is we're having to let go of a lot of older things that didn't work, including racism, bigotry, systemic racism, equality for everybody. We're letting go of old ways and old habits so we can grow. And that's where those growing pains have been so difficult in 2020 that we'll remember from history past for 2020 into 2021. But we have to let go so we can grow. And that's where we're moving forward to. But Eleanor said this: the hard part of loving is that one has to learn so often to let go of those we love, so they can do things, so they can grow, so they can return to us with even richer, deeper love. And that was from Eleanor Roosevelt. And since it's President's Day, I thought I would give a quote from a former First Lady. So we're going to get ready for the Healing Cafe. I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day today. If you're off, it is a federal holiday. So if you're off, enjoy your time off with family and friends. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. If you want to learn more about the work I'm doing, you can follow me over at marclainhart.com. Internet search the Intuitive Prospector and I'll pop up. You can follow me, like I said, through social media here on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn. Whatever. They're all over at marclainhart.com. And then if you want to join my Patreon page too, it's a new exclusive benefit page that has behind the scenes more work, numerology readings, personal readings. That's at marclainhart.com. If you want to join my Patreon community and work with me every month, personal readings, behind the scenes from my shows. Going to be doing some behind the scenes from the guest I just had on a couple weeks ago, Don Miguel Ruiz, talking about his book. And so doing some behind the scenes stuff with my Patreon community. So if you want to join my Patreon community, or if you just want to donate to the page and help pay for my coffee habit and pay for my podcast, I always appreciate donations as well. But we'll get ready for the Healing Cafe. If you've never been to the Healing Cafe, it follows immediately right after Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. We do live readings, chats, Q&A, even some mediumship if I'm feeling called to connect to the spirit world. But your card for this morning, I'm just going to improv, and I didn't have anything planned. Completion. So we're completing things this week. The number 9 means completion. So let's move into some completion energy. And you're going to allow yourself to do something this week from the I Allow deck. And that's this. I allow myself to give to others. So there you go. There's the hearts. Oh, okay, Valentine's Day, a plane dropping a bunch of love and hearts. So allow yourself to give to others, because that's a big part of why we're here, guys, is to give and to teach and to educate and to inspire and to learn. To receive when it's nice. It's nice to receive, but you always feel better when you give and you pay it forward in that golden rule and that golden circle, if you will. So thanks for joining me this morning. Let's see what time it is. It should be right about 8:30. It's 1 minute over. So I'll head over to the Healing Cafe. Again, you can catch this replay over on my YouTube channel as well. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can catch all the videos. There's a lot more videos than just Metaphysical Mocha Monday and all my podcasts. No radio this week. I'll be back in 2 weeks because I'm going on vacation. So I'm looking forward to that after being isolated for a year. But thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate as always. And most important, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and discover that diamond within. I'll see you next time, next Monday for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Intuitive Prospector